Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 10 Minute Marvel. We have some rumors to talk about, we have some news to talk about, and of course we have Agatha All Along episode 7 to talk about today. I'm your host, Petter, coming to you from the end of the Witch's Road, which actually turns out to be a beach in Tahiti. And joining me, as always,
it's Greg, everybody. By the way, don't use tarot cards when you're playing Uno with your kids. It scares them.
eh,
Just an FYI.
reverse means something completely different.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Skip, not good.
Yep.
Not good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'd also like to say, are you part of the Tahiti project? Are you with Colson?
Yeah. Do you like how I worked in two references there?
That is good. Nice job. All right. I'm going to do the spiel. Here we go. If you're looking for ways to support us here at 10 Minute Marvel, you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, of course. That is a very helpful way. Follow us on Facebook at 10 Minute Marvel and on Twix at hashtag 10 Minute Marvel. Of course, you can leave a rating and review wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcast from. Petter, you're up. What do
Yes.
we got for
And
rumors?
yes, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We really do appreciate it every week. And we appreciate the people who are checking it out on YouTube as well. That YouTube channel is continuing to grow. We're at 74 subscribers right now. And yeah, Marvel needs to put on another show so I can do like 3 or 4 videos in a day about the show, since those have been doing very well.
Like Agatha, by the way. Another
Yes.
show like Agatha.
Yeah.
I
Not
mean,
like
to
Secret
the
Invasion.
caliber, not necessarily Agatha 2, right? I'm just saying
Yes.
the caliber.
Agatha too fast, too furious.
To-
I can't wait until Agatha Tokyo Drift.
You didn't, you just came up with that right now, didn't you? That's pretty good.
It's
I'm
I've used it
impressed.
before on other
Uh,
things
Oh,
too.
okay. All right.
So
I was like, man, on the spot. That's impressive. Clutch.
so yeah, let's talk rumors here. Uh First up, two about Doctor Doom. The first one being that Doctor Doom is going to have somewhere in between like a 10 to 20 minutes of screen time in Fantastic Four First Steps. That surprises me a little bit, but
Is him and Reed Richards going to be friends kind of thing, you think? There's going to be,
I wonder if they are. I wonder if
you
it's
know,
going to kind of be,
they work together.
yeah, work together, and maybe when Reed and Sue, Johnny, Thing, Herbie, the kids are out trying to find some way to save their universe, that Doom is coming up with, or yeah, Victor Von Doom is coming up with his own plan,
Yeah.
and that kind of gets explained in Doomsday.
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna always be a little bit on the evil side, right? Or if it's something's gonna
Yeah.
push him over the edge. I wonder how they'll portray the character, right? Are they gonna
Mhm.
is it just a friendship that just kind of falls apart between him and Reed? Is there some sort of
So
confrontation between them
yeah.
two? What are they gonna
Are
do?
they just rivals? And
Right.
so is it like Farnsworth and Wernstrom from Futurama, where they're the two smartest scientists, put in quotes there,
Yeah.
and always are just competing with each other.
That's
So
a good reference, by the way.
thank you, thank you.
You're on point tonight.
I
Hold that.
appreciate that.
It's almost
So
like you had
that
your hand in the toilet for the last. Sorry, there's more to that joke and context around it, but you
yeah,
had to
I
be
have
off air with
a
us.
yeah, I have a toilet that I need to fix.
There we
That's
go.
basically what it comes down to.
Uh,
Um, the other Doom one is that Doomsday. So I guess the Fantastic Four one, that one I've seen a couple different places, but I believe they're sourced back to Marvel Leaks 22. At least the other Dooms one is that Doomsday is going to have between 6 and 10 incursions in it, including kind of like the final incursion for 616.
hmm. So hence where we're going to get all these characters eventually come together, like
Right. Secret
X-Men.
Wars. Yeah. Yep. That one's from Ed Alex from CC. So Cosmic Circus.
You
What do
think
you
they'll
think?
do anything else? Like any other? I mean, we know of X-Men. We know obviously the 616 Avengers. I think they'll pull in.
Are they going to do 838 or whatever?
Yeah.
that one is. Are they going to do any of the different Fantastic Four stuff like that? Um, I do think it's interesting though
Deadpool,
that I mean Deadpool I expect. Yes.
right? What is he? What's his 20 or 2005 or something? I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, I forget his universe for sure. I mean, that's the main X-Men universe, isn't it?
It's the Fox one. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, well, I guess yes. The our current
Yeah.
X-Men universe.
Because I mean, there's a Beast one too. So is he
Hmm.
right? There's that.
Oh, that's true. That seems like it's different.
Yeah.
Potentially, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I mean, they need to do incursions sometime. I hope that these aren't the only thing, like that isn't the only thing with incursions. I feel like if you're going to have 6 to 10 of them, you probably need to set it up with an, a reminder of incursions in Fantastic Four.
Hmm. Yeah. I think just having two or three, it's cool that I think they're bringing more in, and that
Hmm.
they're gonna do, Secret Wars having,
Yeah,
and if there is that rumor out there of Thanos showing back up,
yeah,
as we said last week with the Cabal. Did we
yes,
determine it was the Cabal?
yes, we did.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, that I think that would be interesting. And I imagine if it is 6 to 10 incursions, there's going to be like two incursions that are most of the film. And then the rest are just going to be like bam, 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 bam
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Kind of being like, okay, it's all out of control and Earth 616 is gone.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, how about another rumor here that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has been postponed until 2025. This is from Cosmic Circus. It's yeah,
Weird.
ish. I mean, we're so late in the year,
I
though.
suppose it's not like it's not finished. I think it's probably just like placement, right? They're just trying to.
I'm I don't even know with that too. It could be they're looking and going like, okay, we have 75% finished. This is how long it's taking us to do an episode, like to finish the animation on them, to polish the animation. We should push this out further.
Are they
Like I
really
think that
not done?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
I
Sure,
haven't heard.
if it is like they're trying to make it, touch it up, get it the
Yeah,
full 100%, percentage
yeah.
wise. But if it is done and wrapped, maybe yeah, it's just trying to find the right spot for it. Because
Hmm.
is something gonna change? Are they shifting something else?
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that in the news for
Ooh,
the end of next year.
yep.
But honestly, I think this is probably more a, I would not be surprised if it is that they want to get this 100% done. Because like with What If season one, there was an episode that didn't air because they didn't have it ready in time. It's just like animation takes a long time.
Yeah.
Uh, then we have that the Midnight Suns film is being fast-tracked. This is from Daniel RPK. This again could tie into the bit of news, though I have some opinions on how that bit of news has been reported. Um,
Oh, oh,
because I think that there's a number of places that are using incorrect phrasing in their headlines around it. I'll just put it that way, and we'll get
but
to it.
yeah, okay.
Yes. Midnight Suns, I'd be excited for that. But it does feel like post Secret Wars.
Yeah, it all seems weird now. Like I feel like it's going to be whether Blade, is
Yeah.
on track, or whether Midnight Suns it gets pushed ahead. It all just seems like it's going to be kind of got some bruises on it, and it's going to be looked at differently, and people are going to be
Yep.
very critical of it
Yes. Not
unfairly almost.
rightfully, yeah,
Yeah,
not rightfully so, but I fully expect people will be extra snide about it, especially like you said, if it does come out before Blade, which again, it's going to be the people who haven't actually looked into why Blade has been delayed
right.
multiple times.
It's
So,
It's so, now that I even just say it out loud, it just seems dumb. Like,
yes.
why would people, like, why put it in that light? And maybe they won't. Maybe I'm projecting, because
No,
maybe
they
that's what
did.
I'll do. But like, they will. Like, that's what people
Yeah,
typically do, right?
they
And I,
did it when Black Panther was delayed the first time and then
right.
moved back up. Even though it was like moved back up ahead of other things, people were being disparaging of Marvel for it because they delayed it once, and it's like, yeah, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I
I
have
get
strong
so
feelings.
yeah, and it is kind of I don't know. It's just a sad thing with the reality of where we are, media or like entertainment,
Yeah, well,
So
and yeah, just how people handle anything they don't like.
yeah.
Does Which I guess actually is basically all entertainment based, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, then from Marvel Leaks 22, again, we have that an actor has been found to play Vin Vision. So
Oh, let me get my
the
phone ready so I can look them up.
the son of Vision. So Viv's brother,
Yeah.
like the lesser known character.
Oh, let me put my phone back down.
Yeah. Basically, it sounds like we're gonna get Vision's family in this, so
Yeah,
obviously they're gonna cast him.
yeah, I'm really curious about how that show is gonna
Hmm.
how it's gonna work.
Yes.
To
Starting filming next year.
to yeah, and like coming off of this what is so far an amazing series with Agatha. I mean, there's gonna be and this is kind of to complete the trilogy
Yeah.
supposedly. So
Whatever that means. Yeah.
whatever that means. Man, yeah, I just
Mhm.
curious to see
I,
what they're gonna do with that.
yeah, it's the showrunner for Picard running
Yeah,
it. So, I mean, they picked somebody who's put out a very good show recently, from what I've
which is
heard.
good. I have not
Yeah.
seen it. I'm hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
If other people really enjoy it and they feel like I don't know, Jack Schaefer has done just such an amazing job, and I'm not saying that
Hmm.
she's the right person for Vision Quest, but
Hmm.
I
Well,
think
and I
she was
think,
at one point. She was going to do it, and then she passed it off, right,
yes.
to do Agatha, maybe even.
No, no. I think she passed it off. I'm not sure what for, but
Okay,
yeah.
but for her, I have just been super impressed with Jack Schaefer and how and
Mhm.
her abilities to. She's the showrunner, correct, or the writer,
Not really.
or everything.
A little bit of everything.
Okay,
Producer, yeah, so not a showrunner in the traditional sense. So, and like, I don't think actually the writer of it completely. So,
okay,
yeah, not in the traditional role, but it's clear that some shows have, and I forgot to actually jot this down in the news, but um, I'll bring it up now. The writer of Armor Wars, like somebody asked them about like, oh, it's now a movie, and basically said, yeah, Marvel has done some things that have been shows that should have been movies and something that should have been movies that have been shows. Basically, but Marvel is getting better at it, at
Hmm.
identifying what should be what.
That's encouraging.
Hmm. So that did prompt me to want to ask the question of what's one movie that should have been a show and one show that should have been a movie, and why are neither of them Secret Invasion?
I was gonna, I was actually thinking, like, man, maybe Secret Invasion should have been the movie, just completely done differently. But God, I still don't know how they're gonna undo that
I think you just ignore
that
it,
pile.
leave it in the corner, walk away.
Oh man, but Rhodey, like, what do you pick? I mean, Rhodey's kind of getting the shaft on all of this. It seems like he's part of that. Armor
If
Wars not maybe
Yeah,
really happening.
well,
Uh,
no, Armor Wars is still like there's
Somewhere
nothing.
in
Yeah,
the
this,
wayside.
yes, this again has some of my opinion on it. We have to remember that Armor Wars was announced when Bob Chapek was in charge, when he tried wanted everything that was in the works, no matter how close it was, to be announced and put on a giant graphic.
Right.
And so Armor Wars was probably like, we have an idea for it. We have to spend a whole bunch of time nailing down this script, figuring out how we want to do this. And then Chapek's like, we need it on the calendar. Let's put it on there as should we put it on there as a show or a movie? And they're like, well, we know we want these in movies, so I guess we have the movie slots filled. Let's put it as a show. That kind
Yeah.
of feels like especially for the stuff that was so far out, kind of how they did it.
Yeah. It just I feel like I think was it Green Crush and Ryan Arey was talking about just a missed opportunity. Or Rhodey and it's that time of day, everybody. So I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Come on, it's there. Who's Rhodey? Uh,
War Machine?
actor.
Oh,
Yeah,
Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle. Thank you. Um,
Everett K. Ross?
yeah, I just feel like Don Cheadle's just kind of not getting what I don't know. It's a good character. Like he should be born
Mhm.
front and center, I feel like, and he's kind of getting pushed off. So
Kind of, though they haven't dealt with a lot of the characters for a little while. So, or that's what it feels like. Um, Obviously, we're getting introduced to a lot of new characters too. So
yeah,
that's some of it as well.
yeah.
But the last rumor, and I guess we never answered the question of what was a movie that should have been a show and a show that should have been a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I think that Falcon and the Winter Soldier should have been a movie. Tighten it up some.
It could have been. I could
Yeah,
see how
that one has the most movie quality feel to it. Like you probably have to change up some of Madripoor. Um,
it does have a very movie quality. I agree, and not make Sharon Carter.
yeah,
The
Power
again,
Broker.
where are they going to go with? Yeah, like man,
Yeah,
uh, I, I I'm having a hard time thinking of all the shows that have happened.
yeah. But I think that the Marvels would have been one where that actually would have been pretty decent as a show, though, because you think about like the different planets that they go to, you could spend 45 minutes on each of those. Like the singing planet, give us more time there. Make it kind of like a little bit of a Star Trek, yeah,
Right?
number of
Yeah,
different
like a
space
holodeck.
animes. Yeah. Or just
That's not a holodeck. Sorry, that's
yeah,
not
but
the
just
same.
like
But
traveling between different planets and having to kind of pick up the pieces, having the villain show up, always trying to stay one step ahead of the villain, trying to understand what they're doing, get to spend
it,
more time with the villain.
yeah, it definitely did feel like the movie was actually a show squeezed
Mhm.
together.
Yeah,
Interesting. I didn't
so
really
those are
think
my
about it
two.
that way.
And it still made a really fun movie.
It did, yeah, it did. It was not my fave, but
No, it's not one of the best movies, but it's still a really fun movie.
what about Quantum Mania?
Quantum Mania as a
As a
actually, yeah,
sh That
I
kind
like
of
that.
works, right? You could
Yeah,
kind of do it.
I think so.
Um, Maybe Love and Thunder would have been a better show.
Uh
Maybe.
Maybe that one I think just needed 75% of the same thing, and the 25% that was removed would, or that was replaced would be a lot of stuff that is very Taika Waititi.
Yeah. I definitely could use some more gore though. Gore the God
Yes.
Butcher.
Yep.
So, anyways, ooh, wait, just one more.
Mhm.
Loki.
As a movie,
Yeah. I could have done with the 2 hour Loki show. I think that'd have been a lot of fun.
I am gonna disagree.
You can't.
I just
You
did.
have to agree.
Um,
Wait, I just
main,
did.
Mainly because I think that they did a good job, especially in the first season. Everything is kind of set in its own unique location. And so that one, first season feels very much like a show. Second season,
I'm kind of feeling the second season. That's what I think
yeah,
mainly thinking about.
I think the second season I'd still prefer, or still do prefer the fact it's a show, because obviously at that point in time we knew that Jonathan Majors was going to, that was probably going to be the last thing we saw him as Kang in,
Mm,
and the last thing that he does for probably a very long time, if he ever gets back into Hollywood.
yeah.
But I think there was enough elements that I don't think they could have done it justice with the time slipping, with Victor Timely, with Obi, with yeah, just kind of with all of those elements. I think you would have had to have cut one to make it
What
work. Like it
what if it
almost has to be just time slipping within the TVA and Obi helping Loki and Mobius solve it.
what if it was more like that British BBC Sherlock Holmes hour and a half episode, but there's like 4 of them.
That could have worked.
That'd been kind of fun. I think I would have liked
Yes.
that. So,
Yeah. I wonder if Marvel will ever do a show that way.
oh, I would like that.
Hmm. It's basically, I mean, it's a mini series more
Yeah,
than like a show at that point, but that would be, I think, a fun way to do it. Like the Eternals would have been
there you
great as a
go.
mini series.
Right.
Not sure I want a whole show of them, but for 1 hour to hour and a half long episodes, give me
Yeah.
about 6 hours. Get to know the characters.
Yeah. Maybe do that for Midnight Suns. That way we can get to
Mhm.
know the characters a little better,
Yeah.
even
Or
though we know
X-Men.
some. Or X-Men. There you go.
I mean, they'll never do it for X-Men because that will
No.
make $1 billion in the
Right.
theaters, but
Right.
yeah. All right. So last rumor is that Marvel has talked with Billie Eilish for a role in the MCU. I cut out the word from the rumor because I don't know the wording of the actual source of the rumor, but obviously the aggregators want to make it as catchy as possible, so they put in significant. I
Mm.
don't know if that is actually true. But the rumor itself, I believe, comes from Daniel RPK, who is one of the bigger rumor folks. I'm trying to think who she would play.
I'm trying to think why. I mean,
This,
necessary? I mean, maybe she's great. Maybe she has some. I don't know of her as an actor
I
though,
know.
so I don't know if this is like her wanting to do that kind of thing now. I don't know. She's very Kristen Stewart to me, where she seems very like leave me alone, kind of let me do my thing, leave me alone. But
Yeah.
in the music world. So, um, who? Great question.
Mhm. And really
To go
looks like
evil or good? What do you lean towards? What
uh
direction?
good.
Okay.
What about if she was the new Negasonic Teenage Warhead?
Okay.
A
I could
character who would show up in a few things, but probably not a major character.
yeah. Rogue?
No.
Nope. Uh maybe she's gonna be Dazzler?
I mean, like just be like, hey, we're doing a different take on Dazzler.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
A little more goth,
Yeah.
little less, I don't know, pop,
Hmm.
disco.
Yeah. It it could be yeah. Something like that I think would be kind of funny
Yeah.
after all the rumors of Taylor Swift being
Right.
in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Or maybe she'll be the Lady Deadpool. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's I don't know.
Gwenpool.
What?
Gwenpool.
Gwenpool. Oh, Gwen. Oh,
Yeah. Like if it's a cameo in Secret Wars as Gwenpool, I'm like, sure, that I could see that.
yeah, I can see that. That's what it feels like it's more, or like, I don't know, like what they did in Volume 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Who was that actress that was kind of she I think Star-Lord had to kind of like try and get her to do something. This is a long time ago. I saw the movie,
Mhm.
so she had the bob haircut and like a purple face, I feel like. But she
Oh
was
yeah.
like a legit actor, which I was like, oh, I know who that is. Like that kind of
Yes.
role, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I mean, Nathan Fillion, I believe, was one of the guards on that station
Oh,
space station planet
right.
type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sort of role,
Yeah, that one.
I could easily see something like that.
Yeah.
Put her in the same universe as Spider-Punk, as that universe's Dazzler.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
We solved it. All right. So as we hinted at, Blade is officially not on the calendar for 2025
What?
anymore, and it has been delayed indefinitely. Now,
Did you say belayed indefinitely?
delayed.
Oh, you didn't like
Um,
my plan words. Okay.
yes, but I'm I'm looking at it and going, it doesn't make sense if they're trying to wrap up the multiverse saga. Stuff should tie into that a little bit more. Blade doesn't make sense for that. This feels like as I was kind of on my soapbox about when Marvel rolled out everything and hinted at Blade, all of that was done under Chapek. And this feels like because of Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's vampire movie, they're just like, yeah, let's just wait a little bit. We'll come back to it. There will be a new Blade movie. We just need to have the right story, which I think, I mean, from the sounds of it, the story set in the 1920s sounds awesome. But obviously you can't do that with it's it's always getting compared to what Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are doing, and either it looks a whole lot worse than it, which isn't a great look for Marvel, or it looks better than it, which I think that Marvel is also like, well, we want Ryan Coogler to continue doing projects with us. So let's not try and do the same, like tread on the same ground.
I feel like they would have backed off with that kind of sense of comfort of, it's just not the right time. I feel like those type of feelings would have happened a long time ago, and like they would have stopped working towards trying to create this so
In this
much.
timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it feels like they really extended this out. And like finally they're like, okay, we've exhausted it. We can't do it. They had a way to tie it in, right? There was some interweaving that they could have done.
Potentially. And
And
well,
like into the saga that's happening now,
the
maybe.
thing is, I'm not even sure there was. I think if it was 1920s, it was going to be pretty much standalone, and then you can drop Blade in Secret Wars and bring him back up then. I don't think there was any like really multiverse anything
Oh,
going on
that's
with it.
okay. I can understand that. But I think that they were trying to, right? Yeah. And then
Yeah.
they finally
Well,
have exhausted it to the point where they're like, it's not working. And
right. It's
it's
like it doesn't make sense as a multiverse story.
Yeah, it's like almost somebody finally step back a little bit and it's like, this isn't necessary. Like we don't
Hmm.
have to rush this or push this
Yes.
any further.
Yep. And I do think that Marvel generally has done a good job of listening to the fans. And so I think they were trying to make it happen because the fans were really excited for it. And now that they're very confident that no, this isn't we we can't tie it into the multiverse saga, which people are clamoring for everything to tie into that. So let's just set this aside, keep working on it, figure out our timeline of when we're gonna get this ready to film, get our script ready, coordinate with Mahershala Ali, because there was also a report this week that Marvel talked with Mahershala about it, and Mahershala was basically like, "Yeah, no, it's cool. I understand." So,
Hmm. I did not hear about that, but that's good.
yeah,
Good that
and
they're all in agreement there.
well, I think for Mahershala too, it allows him to say, I'm not going to be filming this project until 2027. I can
Mhm.
take films.
Yeah, it's not like he's
I
going to be
right.
hard up trying to find a
Yeah.
film.
Yep. So I think it was like, hey, this is still going to happen. We still have a plan for you. We are nailing down the story. It's not going to be part of the multiverse saga. So we're going to set it to the side, um, sort of thing. And like I said, I had issue with how I think even New Rockstars did this, where like their headline was Blade canceled. It's
Yeah,
like,
was it question mark or was it exclamation point?
I think it was exclamation point. And they're very good about reporting stuff as reporting.
And that's what I was going to say earlier, and we
Mhm.
were just kind of waiting. But I was like, yeah, we listened to a lot of new Rockstar stuff, and
Mhm.
so it was weird that you were thinking the opposite of that, and that they maybe jumped the gun a little bit, or the verbiage that they use shouldn't
The
have maybe
ver
been.
Yeah, the verbiage they used is the clickbait verbiage based off of what's actually been released from Marvel. Like
Oh,
the information of like this is no longer on the calendar. And maybe that's was their intent, but it was definitely clickbaity,
yeah,
which maybe they're just like, it's been canceled. It's no longer happening in November of next year. Sure, that movie doesn't exist anymore, that we have assumed isn't going to be existing at that point in time for probably 6 months now, if
yeah.
not longer. So,
And again, it was bleeding money,
mhm.
so I think it's about time that they just
Yeah.
made the call on it.
Well, and that's the thing is, I don't think the financial situation of it has changed at all. They, I'm
Well,
pretty
and then
sure
to
they still
write
have.
the scripts to like kind of prepare
Yeah,
other.
so there was the one like fairly major false start it felt on it, but they're still writing the script.
Yeah. Oh, fair, but they had to pay people to write those, right? Like Gina
Yes.
Ippolito was saying how like it is kind of costing money at this point where it's adding up. It's
Yeah.
adding up to be something that maybe it's just better to just pause altogether on
Yes.
it. I'm sure like scripts maybe, but
Or
other things
ideas
are
being
getting
pitched. Yeah.
yeah, and other things are getting developed with it, when I'm sure when they did have a script and then, I'm sure there's costume design happening and all these kind of other
Hmm.
little things that need to get
Oh yeah.
started, right?
Yep.
So that's the kind
Yeah.
of bleeding money that I'm talking about. Like they just needed to
Yeah.
pause on the whole thing. And
Yeah. I think the idea that we're not going to go to production anytime soon for this means that they can, yes, save money on elements of it because they just won't be working on trying. They're not doing previs.
yeah,
They're not doing stuff like that.
but they
So,
are gonna do Midnight Sun stuff, which I understand. I mean, whatever. Maybe it's not all. Maybe Blade is not in the Midnight Suns, but
and or maybe it's this is going to be how we introduce the character, or because we have the full team, or we have a certain amount of the team that we're ready to use,
well, they
like the
definitely then
Australia.
can't. I don't feel like should go back to the 1920s and do any sort of
Right. They're not,
right.
that to me is completely gone at this point in time because of like the conversation around Ryan Coogler
Yeah,
and Michael B. Jordan. Like, uh, they're putting on a 1920s vampire movie.
but did you see the trailer for that? Is it a 1920s?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually seen the trailer yet, but
I
that was
think
the rumor.
I don't know. Yeah, it will seem kind of a regardless of the Michael B. Jordan and their thing. It just seems like you can't go back to
Period genre
1920s.
film. Yeah, I'm not sure what period, but basically, sure, maybe it's not 1920s, but if it's a genre like a period film, um,
Yeah, you don't want to go backwards, really, right? You don't want to do a hey, this is
this is
two.
similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Uh, Other news, more exciting. Spider-Man 4 coming out July 24th, 2026. Going to be filming next year. Doomsday starting filming in the spring of next year.
hmm.
So we have Doomsday, we have Spider-Man, we have the Vision show all filming next year. I think there's another one too that I'm forgetting.
um,
I don't know what it would be. I mean, there'll probably be a yet to be officially announced Marvel project that we'll hear about
yeah.
soonish.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange 3 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this is more just kind of a little bit of fun news, but Hawkeye season 1 and Loki season 2 are getting Steelbook Blu-ray releases.
Hmm.
So if you want to physically own them, it seems like they're slowly releasing all of them on physical, which I it's one of those weird things. I am not going to get rid of Disney Plus because obviously we have to be able to watch Marvel shows,
Yeah.
but I like to own them and just kind of have the physical collection of everything.
I I don't need that anymore. I was big into like all my hanging out to all my CDs and DVDs and
Yeah.
and I don't need it anymore. I think it's because now a house, kids, and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's just clutter. So maybe when I'm older, I can recollect some stuff
Yeah.
and
Marvel stuff's the main that
oh,
I,
absolutely, that would be my thing for sure.
yeah.
It's that and vinyl probably, but
Hmm.
so but it's hard. You got Disney Plus, right? So like
Yeah.
it's hard for me to even just think, well, I don't know.
Yeah. I want
I
this
want
on my shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea of people still buying media and stuff like that because there's some
Mhm.
cool things you get with it that
Yes.
they take time and put
Yeah.
some thought into it. So
Well, and I like too that it's the steel book, so it's like a metal case
yeah,
for it. This is they're not just doing here's the DVD version, here's the Blu-ray version, here's the uh special version. It's just we know most people aren't going to buy it, but the people who do, we're going to give you something good.
yeah.
Then, final piece of news is that Marvel has set aside 3 dates in 2028: February 18th, May 5th, and November 10th.
Yes.
All right, tell me what we're going to get there.
Ooh, X-Men,
X-Men and X-Men? No.
X-Men, then Greg's birthday party.
Um,
It's a Greg's birthday party on November 10th. So
nice.
that's not my birthday actually, but it's close.
Close.
Close enough.
Yeah. I think that I would not be surprised if we get something like this could be the where we see Midnight Suns
Or yeah,
or
or
Blade.
Blade. Yep. I think one's
Uh,
X-Men for sure.
yes, one is an X-Men or mutant project for
Right.
sure. I actually that May 5th date could be the first like X-Men team up movie. That's the time of year you'd do it.
Yeah, do you think they would start? I mean, if they do a Blade that early on, like I feel like if you're gonna start this is post multiverse
Post,
saga, right? This is a
yes.
Secret Wars and all that. So
Yep.
do you really kick it off with the
No,
Blade
it's,
movie?
well, I'm not sure you kick it off, but to me, that makes a good November movie.
Agreed.
Um,
Um,
Plus, there is one movie, maybe two, I think one movie on the calendar in 2027 after Secret Wars. So,
oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, these are four movies. The first four movies post Secret Wars, Marvel has kind of laid claim to certain dates for them.
Could it be another maybe then X-Men in February, another Spider-Man in
No,
May?
Spider-Man wouldn't be part of this.
No?
That's Sony.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
But
because the July date for Spider-Man in 2026 was not one of the dates that Marvel had previously announced.
okay.
Sony announces the dates for Spider-Man movies.
Hmm.
It's a weird thing. So
Yeah.
it is possible that there could be a Spider-Man movie in July or so of 2028. But yeah, I
Uh,
think a
uh,
couple mutant movies, Midnight Suns, and trying to
Eternals
think,
2.
and not Eternals too, but I'm trying to think of who else could have a movie. I mean, Armor Wars, I guess, could be there because I don't think they're going to do it in the multiverse saga still.
Yeah. I don't know. New character.
Mhm.
That's what I'm
Uh,
feeling, I guess.
yeah, a new character who isn't a mutant.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
guess. I mean, are they
yeah.
gonna go like that? Are they gonna do mutants, or are they gonna be a lot more just straight up mutant focus
I
and not
think
do Avengers?
I think we may not see Avengers for not Avengers 4, but an Avengers film for a little bit after that. Like after Secret Wars, we may not have another like Captain America or Thor film until like 2029.
This is time for Blue Marvel. Boom.
I mean, it's possible,
Possible.
improbable, but possible. All right. So we spent a lot of time
Oh
on
my
that.
gosh. Do we have any time for Agatha? Because there's so much to talk about with Agatha.
We're going to talk about Agatha now, and
It's gonna be a
uh,
two-part episode.
it's just going to be a real long one. So, episode seven, non-spoiler thoughts. I love this episode. I thought that the writing and the story creation of this one was so well done, and tricky to get right, and they got it right. And honestly, I feel like it answered more questions than it left me with, too, which was nice.
Yeah, it
Or
was kind
like
of gratifying, wasn't it?
yeah, like it confirmed stuff anyways. And yeah, it was just really good, interesting storytelling. I think my favorite episode of the series.
Okay, so hands down, my favorite episode of the series. I mean, this far, right?
Mhm.
We have two more to go. I might even go as far as to say this could be my favorite, most gratifying Marvel show episode that I have seen.
Yeah.
I mean, WandaVision had some really great stuff, but that was more sprinkled throughout the series. Whereas this, like, just, it was so nicely put together and there was a lot of answers to questions. Then there were some new questions that came up. And I don't know, it was an amazing episode. So,
Yeah. I think, yeah, I'm trying to think if there is an episode like the season two of actually both seasons of Loki, the finales have been really good.
yes, but I don't think I felt as satisfied as I did just by watching this one episode. It
Hmm.
just was so well laid out and it was interesting and it kept me guessing and it kept me thinking and it just checked all these boxes for me
Hmm.
that yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
Yeah.
was solid.
Yeah, it is one of the better episodes of television, period, that I've watched.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't like my top Marvel, which I'm not 100% sure either way, um, it is easily top 10 episode of television, period.
You're saying of television all in as
Yes.
a whole. Oh dang. Okay. I didn't take it that far, but I was just saying of Marvel television, but
Mhm. But I mean, top 10 of television, there have been some very good episodes, but a lot of the time, yeah.
I'm not
You don't.
disagreeing with you. I would say
Mhm.
I'm trying to now to even just think of
Yeah.
it in that that's a grand statement that I'd have to go through a lot of TV thoughts just to even think about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
So,
And I think I said this in a video. So Marvel does have one other episode that I would say is as good or maybe better, but it's Marvel animation, and it's Remember It.
mm, yeah, that was really good. Was it the thing about that though, I felt it was good. That segment was good. It was a really well done episode altogether,
Mhm. I
but
thought
I
the whole
can't,
episode was really good, though.
yeah, either way. No,
Either way, yeah.
yeah, not taking away from that episode. It was
Hmm.
great still. So, yeah, I think we
Spoilers.
just yeah, let's
Yeah. Spoilers, spoilers.
spoilers.
You have been warned. Spoilers.
Forgot to do
So,
in unison. Dang it. Okay.
yeah. Where do you want to start?
Oh my gosh. Let's start at the beginning then. Just
Where's the beginning?
the beginning. Yes, good point. That's very, very clever. Um,
Thank you.
what, in at the beginning we see Lilia, she is falling, right?
Yes.
And in her pupils there is an image. What do you think that image is? Did you
I
see
don't
it?
know. No.
Yeah, it looked like it had been enhanced in some way, like the computer generated it. It's right at the
Mhm.
beginning. Like she sees something. And I don't, maybe it doesn't even really matter. Maybe it's nothing and maybe I'm just making it up, but I'm pretty sure. I think it changes also between the beginning of the show and the end of the show. But
Okay. Do you have an idea?
my two thoughts were it's death
Hmm.
or it's her maestra.
Okay.
But I
That,
thought it was
yeah.
interesting if you can see it.
Hmm. That is interesting.
So maybe it was more just a foreshadowing kind of thing. Maybe
Hmm.
it's a way for the audience to, especially at the end, I guess, maybe feel, I don't know, closure in a sense. But maybe
Hmm.
that more came from her facial expression. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, if you didn't see it, not a big deal. Check it out when you see it next. There's something in her eyes there. So
Yeah. Then,
go ahead if you got
sh-
something. I have a whole like front and back list here. So
well, I think maybe then just to touch on kind of the how well written it was in terms of telling Lilia's story, because we follow it straight, like most of the time it's through her eyes, which I like how they really get you to be kind of pulled into her timeline and
mhm.
understanding that she is doing that, and then just or that we're seeing it through her timeline and seeing how her incredibly disorienting, yet also can kind of lean into it in some ways. Uh, her living her life out of
Yeah.
order.
Yeah. It the writing was very interesting just to be able to think of that concept, I think,
Hmm.
to plan it out well in advance and then to in this episode take the the audience through that in a way
Yep.
that was slightly like it's ambiguous at times at the beginning, but also it doesn't like it's not so mysterious that you don't really understand what's going on.
Hmm.
They unfold it in a way that the audience can feel the disorientation, but not be lost in it and
Yes.
confused. Like a lot of times, what Eric Voss talked about Lost, like the actual show Lost, and how that show was just kind of I don't know, it's all over the place, right? And I at the time of watching that, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I never felt like I didn't understand what was going on, but I was still feeling the same disorientation that Lily was in, right? So it's
Hmm.
just I think and that's just
Yeah.
wow. I don't know. That's just really good writing. So
Yes. This feels to me like one of the first episodes they had a really strong idea for.
mm,
Like they were like, okay, we're going to do this trial, because then they could go back, or they could go and implement elements of it into the other trials and into the rest of the story.
yeah, that's I never thought about it that way, I guess. Did they write in sequence or was it more like these are just ideas and then they put that idea,
Mhm.
further into the show.
Yeah.
So
I I would suspect that they didn't truly or like purely write in sequence.
no, yeah,
You, you
but
but yeah. Jack Schaefer and whoever the writers are probably had an outline for it of like, hey, we want to try and do these different trials. Let's kind of spin some ideas around,
Hmm.
talk about them, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
until we land on it.
Um, I wanted to kind of talk about it's kind of at the beginning of the show there, Agatha and Billy had a short conversation,
Hmm.
which is really interesting because I every episode I've been so impressed with Catherine Hahn how she plays both this person that cares at times,
Hmm.
and then she'll at a dime flip to be this like selfish, arrogant,
Yeah.
cocky witch, right? And each side is so genuine. It's odd. It's amazing is what it is. But like I was wondering why Agatha let's see what I gotta read what I wrote here. Why does Agatha want to tell where Rio is? Why doesn't Agatha want to say where Rio is?
Hmm.
Because it
Well,
implies that she knows.
I think she has an idea. I think that there is something Rio does with bodies.
Did you, that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
So is it still on the same game of like Rio and Agatha are kind of in cahoots at this point? Like that just is still
Um,
continuing to be the trend. And so Agatha's like, yeah, I know where she is. You don't need to worry about that, but I know that she's gonna be going for
Alice's body.
yeah. And also it seems like it seems like well, Lily would be the only person that really knows that she's about to die. So
Hmm.
yeah, so maybe she was with Alice at that time,
Yeah.
but or I don't know. It
I
was
think
just
that I think some of the implication of that is just that Agatha doesn't want to reveal the fact she knows that Rio is death.
yeah, yeah.
And I pulled up this from Marvel Studios 7 hours ago. They put out like little personality trait things of some of the different characters. And for Agatha, it's powerful, selfish, brave, diabolical, damaged, and shameless.
Mm, pretty much. That sums it up pretty nicely.
Hmm.
Um, and she's also engaging with Billy in that in that same scene, right? Like she seems she's not walking ahead, she's not just kind of doing her own thing and letting everybody else follow her, I guess in this case, just Billy follow along. She's actually side by side having a conversation with Billy and engaging with him, asking like she wants him to ask questions. Like there's almost like a sense of like, hey, I care what's going on with you, which is so I just think that's an interesting dynamic that she's got between what she was at the end of episode 5, I think is what it was, right? Where
Hmm.
she's like, I know who you really are, kind of thing. I know your
Hmm.
mother, and like she's in his face about it. So it's like this back and forth, like I'm almost like your second mom or babysitter in a sense.
Hmm.
And then I'm also one who's trying to plot against you in a way. Or
Yeah.
is I just I it's weird. I don't know where
I
I don't know
to
what her
me,
play is.
yeah, to me that feels like the diabolical side.
Yeah.
Like she reacted in the moment of figuring it out, and then she realizes when she gets out of the mire and it's just her and Billy there that she looks at it and goes like, okay, well now I'm gonna have to try and use you to get to the end of the road, to get to like to be able to get off the road at all.
Yeah. But
Plus,
she's like, ask me questions. Just, like,
well, she says ask me questions, but I think that is more in particular to the fact that she suspects, and she's kind of trying to call him out that he is trying to read her mind.
yeah. But she doesn't
She even
really,
makes
she's
additional
not trying to
comments
like,
on it.
she does. That's true. She just doesn't seem to want to push him
She-
away. She's
Mhm.
trying to like,
Yeah.
engage and she's like, you
Well,
know,
I yeah,
I,
I think there's two things there. I think one it is the diabolical side of I need you to try and complete the Witch's Road, at least to the very end, because there's going to be at least one more trial, probably two. And then I think she's also asking him to ask questions to try and keep him out of her mind.
mm,
Like if he's focused on a conversation, um, she may not remember or she may not be sure that it still is the case where he can't read her mind.
Yeah,
Because in WandaVision, he had made some comment about her having quiet mind or something like that.
right. I still feel like I think that motherly role is still a part of her as well.
Maybe
I think that she, not too long ago, she thought that he might have been Nicholas
Nicholas.
Scratch, right? So
Hmm.
maybe there's a residue of wanting to be a mom, or that hoping he is,
Yeah, I
not that he's necessarily Nicholas Scratch anymore, but
yeah.
just she's trying like an attachment to a child
Mhm.
kind of thing. So
Maybe, but I do think it is on the more diabolical side.
I think there's definitely that, but it seemed genuine. That's just been Agatha and how Catherine Hahn and the characters written. It just seems like there's these different parts that are so genuine but are smashing together and coming
Hmm.
out at certain times. So
Yeah. And are we
I
going
don't
to
know.
find that one of them was an act
Right.
in the
Yeah.
end?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah. I think it could be a combination of the both, and I think she understands potentially how powerful Wiccan can be. And so not only may it be worthwhile getting for her to use him to get her off the road, it might also be worthwhile for her to try and ally herself with him.
Yeah.
Like she looks at him and goes like, okay, you're the most powerful witch out here, but you're also kind of a newborn. It's kind of the Adam Warlock thing from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He just doesn't know his powers truly. And so if Agatha can be the one to control and kind of point him at
Sure.
yeah. So I
Yeah, I
think
could
there could be that.
yeah. He doesn't trust her necessarily, but I think she's definitely trying to
She's trying to make him.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. What do you have
Um
next?
Uh, is Wanda dead? Yes, no, maybe.
Maybe. Yes and no.
That's I think it was just I think it's a manipulation. Like I think that's
Hmm.
just her default, right?
Yes.
I just it was there's no real answer in this question. It's totally rhetorical, I think. And but I just think it was,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
interesting how they laid that out. So I don't know. What do you got? Something I feel like I'm rattling off
No.
all mine.
No. Continue.
All right. I thought it was I've been just obviously really captivated by Agatha in this conversation with Billy, but it seemed like when Billy said, "Now I wonder if you've ever been down the road at all," right? Then he kind of walked away
Hmm.
and like her feelings are like hurt. It seemed like
Hmm.
she was like stung by it. So I was trying to think, what would that mean? That he is right and she's never been down and but what ramifications is that? Is
Yeah.
it what does she care that he called that out? That she's a phony? Like, but so it's very in depth on the character's,
Hmm. Well,
psyche, but
yeah. I think that there's an element. It makes me think it's more likely she has been down the road before. Um,
and
and
it went
it
very
hurts.
bad.
What was that?
And it went very bad, like badly, or
No, I mean she got off the road.
unless
That's
that was
what
part of Nicholas Scratch thing, and that was what stung so much is that she had been down it did
yeah.
go poorly. She lost her son. That's the
Yeah.
sting.
Yeah, no, I think it's more that she likes to be a famous witch, like in like
Ah,
infamous witch,
I could see
and to
that too.
and to have somebody question like one of her accomplishments, where it's not just the accomplishment of killing a whole bunch of witches, that stings for
Yeah.
her. She's like, "Come on, you should know better. Like people should understand that I'm the Agatha Harkness."
I can see that as well.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I I feel like it was a deep sting, but okay.
Yes.
Um, we found the book. The Billy's book has been found. So that
Yes.
was something interesting. And I don't know what I don't know what to make of that at this point. Lilia found it. Did she take it? She found a well, she didn't. She found it on when she was with
Yeah, it had sunk down into the tunnels.
Jennifer Kale, right?
Yeah, beneath. And she took it and she gave it to Billy.
How to get down there though? How to
If
get
it fell
down
into,
underneath?
if it fell not on the road, it like we saw Sharon Davis's purse, episode 3, get pulled in. So it seems like anything that is not of the road gets pulled under, or yeah, of this realm gets pulled under. So
Okay.
to me, that says it went down under. My bigger question is, did she do something to that uh, journal? Did she write a note or something in there for the teen?
And she wanted to hide it too. She didn't want Jennifer to see it.
Yes,
She's so it seems to me that something
she knows something.
she knows something, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I buy that things get sucked down.
And we've seen everything get sucked down.
Uh,
Like
but
there's
when it, yeah, when
nothing
it's
that
not on the road
right.
and in those certain spots, we
And
don't ever see it drop. I feel like we would have seen like it would have been like somebody tossed it, it went in, and then we see it sink down into the tar pit or whatever that
mhm.
is. Maybe, but
Yeah, I it was said that it was lost while he was flying. So
maybe Salem 7 picked it up. One of them brought it down with them for some
possible.
reason.
Yeah, I think the simpler solution is it fell off the road and it sunk through.
I don't want this simpler solution, Petter. I want it to be a big mystery like everything else.
I do think
Um,
there's a big mystery. I think, and I'm glad you brought it up because it hadn't crossed my mind until recently of what did she do? Like she gives almost everybody, she gives them a piece of advice as they're
mhm.
walking out of the trial. So
Something's in that book still, I bet.
yes,
But
she
when she
added something.
with what? She never had it. Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
I actually just assumed that the teen has a pen in the book.
In the book, that would
Yeah.
make sense. I know there's two Salem 7 witches left, and I'm just wondering if they maybe there is something
About
they're
them.
doing with so that they can kill Agatha. Like it's, you know, they grabbed it, they put it down there, and something that is gonna maybe a spell that they changed in there will then be what can kill Agatha or something. Because that's their goal, right? I
Mhm.
don't know.
That seems, again, this falls into the category of we have 2 episodes left. I don't think they can
Oh, yeah, it
do that much. I think it's much more likely that there's a secret piece of advice, information that Lilia has put in there for the teen.
probably.
And it might even be, it could even be about the 7 that 2 of them survive.
Yeah. Which is Vertigo and another one.
Yeah.
And Vertigo is an actual character. Well, I know there's a Vertigo.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's the same Vertigo though, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Uh,
Um, okay, so I'm gonna the last section of notes that I kind of have here, I think, is the tarot reading.
mhm.
So we
And we can
have
finally talk about the reveal of the character I was right about.
uh, yes, true. Is that it? And that is the last one, right? So path ahead, Jennifer Kale. She's the high
Yes.
priestess.
Yes.
So Lilia kind of goes through each one of these, right? And kind of and the imagery
I,
is of
yeah.
whatever whichever witch she's talking about.
Mhm.
So, what do you think Jennifer's because Lily is like tells her right before she puts her in the Iron Maiden, hey, you what does she say? I can't remember. You're the high priestess. You're
Mhm.
whatever. Oh, you're the path ahead or something like whatever
Yeah.
she says. What role is Jennifer gonna play, do you think, in
I
this?
think that she is going to save the teen somehow. Um, that's that's kind of where I'm at. I think there's going to be, whether it's through actions of Rio or actions of Agatha or a combined action of both or something that's set up that the teen doesn't understand. I think she will save the teen.
Again. See, I don't think they would go do the teen. I feel like it's either going to
It's
be
true.
save Agatha in some way, or maybe it's to help mentally, emotionally save Agatha with her son, like
Mhm.
the forgiveness aspect.
Yeah.
So,
I could see that.
um, I don't know,
Yeah, I don't have a
just some thoughts.
strong opinion on that one.
Yeah. Obstacles was the next one. This is Agatha, the Three Swords card,
Yep.
heartbreak, sorrow, grief. It's interesting that how these all were, cards that we've seen throughout the show, I
Yeah,
believe.
imagery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagery, true. And the Windfall, which was the Tower Reverse, which I believe was Lilia then. It kind of was going back and forth between Billy and Lily. I
No,
couldn't
it's Billy.
tell. It's
So
Billy?
the tower reversed is Billy because Lilia is uh the magician. The
Oh, Billy's
she's
the
the first.
magician.
No, Lilia is the magician.
No, Billy's the magician.
When she flips out the first card, or what is the first card she flips out when she does the
Yeah,
reading for
the
herself?
magician.
Yeah,
And
that's her.
no, that's
Yep,
Billy.
no, when she does the reading for herself, she flips it out. It is her, and it is her in the yellow dress from when she is a kid.
I'm going to the source.
Yeah, she is.
Are you watching it right now?
Oh, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. There
She's
we
the
go.
Queen of Cups. Yeah.
Right. So that is the first card she flips out when she does the reading for herself. She flips out the Magician when she does, that's the first card when she does the reading for Billy, but it's the wrong reading. There we go.
Okay. Right.
And then, yes. Yeah.
So, see, I have it. I literally have Lilia scratched out, Billy scratched out, Lily scratched out. Bill, like I went back and forth on
It's
who,
so
because
it
Tower
is
Reverse is disaster, destruction, miraculous transformation.
mhm,
So,
averted.
what do you mean averted?
It's reversed.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
is, yeah. So it's destruction averted.
Okay. I'm gonna have to watch it again. Okay. Anyways, um, and then at the very end, we've got, of course, the destination card is death, right?
Yes.
And that is we find out that Lilia's just
Was that destination?
I think so. I wrote it down as destination. Lilia's destination was death
Yeah.
because that's the end game for her in this.
Yeah.
She's meant to die at this point, which, as you said, yes, was Rio.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to get. Okay, here we go. All seven cards. So Lilia Calderu is the Queen of Cups. That is the first one. Then it is the Three of Pentacles, which is the coven to get them down the road. Then there's the Knight of Wands, who is Alice, who is the protector, the past.
Hmm.
Then it is the High Priestess for going forward, path ahead.
Yep.
Then Agatha Harkness is the obstacle. Then Billy Maximoff is the tower reversed. So it is not disaster, destruction, and sudden upheaval, but reversed, it means miraculous transformation. Um,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm trying to make sure I remember what slot this one goes in. Uh, the windfall. So that's in the windfall. And then, yes, it is death.
Which goes
And that,
across the first card,
yes,
which is because the Traveler is the first one,
yes.
and
And the
then the
destination is the one.
destination. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I'm pretty sure I can do tarot card readings if I wanted to now.
As long as it's those five
Just
cards in
that's
that
all.
order.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Or
Sorry, you
seven
don't. I
cards.
don't
Yeah.
know this one. Oh, I know this one. Yeah. Uh, you know, I tell everybody they're gonna die at the end. I'd be the most popular person as a
Yes.
tarot card reader.
But yes, I was very pleased with it.
Yeah. Cool effect. Cool. I
Mhm.
love it how it all came together. Yeah. I I don't know. It's just such a tightly written story and
Mhm.
how they it's just not leaving many things, on the table,
Mhm.
right? For things like, oh, well, they forgot about this. Like it's just buttoned up really nicely.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Um, do you think Lilia gets to relive her life since it's kind of
Maybe it
I
seems
can't tell.
cyclical. Yeah,
Yeah.
or like because she lives everything out of order. Though I think
Did she just go back to the beginning? Kind of like she just jumped
mm,
back, and like that's
I don't think she's hit the swords yet.
right. And that's at
Like,
the beginning or at the end, right? She's now you see the relief on her face, like more of like
yeah,
it's gonna be
she
okay.
she knows that she's going to hit the swords, but the gaps in her past that were missing to her, she now is going to live those out and fill those in.
Yeah, she's got her control, not control. She's just able
Right.
to understand. She's just going with the flow at this point. She
Yes.
knows that that's how she
Mhm.
can live.
Yeah, I think yeah, there's that element of relief because she knows like I know what the end is, and when it comes, it will come. Like it's already happened slash happening. There's
So then
nothing. can be done to save me.
But
So
doesn't she just go through the same motions? Like she goes back to the beginning and then her life is
she's not at the beginning though. She's,
not at the beginning. She goes back to that moment in time though. Well,
but
relative, I guess.
I
But
don't think that moment in time had existed for her before.
so you think it's different this time around? Like, or not time around. Like, not that she's reliving it, but she's going back to that moment again. And
She's
she's
going, yeah. Well, we assume that it's the exact same moment of when she shows up to the teacher the first time.
right.
I think she's just showing up to another lesson. And I think it's something that was one of her gaps before
Hmm.
when she talks about living her life out of order.
Okay.
She now, like, this is part of her life out of order at this point, but she's no longer scared of it or anything like that. And
So
so
you,
she,
so it's different this time. Not so
no,
much this time, but it can't change though. Like it's time
right. This,
is not A to B
mhm. So this moment has happened in the past, but for Lilia, it had never happened before, if that makes sense.
because it was a gap.
Right, because it was in a gap for her.
Okay.
And so who knows, like she maybe has an idea of how many gaps she has had in her whole life before she kind of took control of them. But yeah, she has some amount of life to live out and be able to live it not in fear that she had never had before.
So she got to she okay. I think I understand where you're going with that. She experienced and was able to put together these gaps and understand them now. So when she jumped to that point, has that understanding, and now she's maybe going back to a different point, that same understanding is there, and she can
Right,
feel more okay at peace. Okay.
right. Because
Interesting.
yeah, it's something that scared her young self because her young self couldn't put it together. It scared her up until really the point of this episode
Yeah. Because
of
she said it was only at the beginning, at the end. In the middle, she
right.
didn't feel that way.
She had control over it and kind of she says she ignored them for whatever that
Yeah.
might mean.
Hmm.
So I think she had some level of control over it to stop them from happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, that is an interesting question. And I do think, like, I don't think we're going to see her again in the
No,
series.
that was more of a philosophical question. I don't think
Yes.
it's not something that's going to be really addressed at any point in
Hmm.
time. So
Hmm.
I just want to get philosophical, wax intellectual a
No.
little bit.
Yeah, no, I
Ball of
appreciate it.
wax theory.
It made me have to think about that and kind of piece it together in an
Yeah.
interesting way.
Yeah. That's all my
So,
notes on it. I don't know if I
uh,
don't think I have anything else. Anything you
on that episode itself, I mean, I guess like the question coming out of it is, okay, there were five thuds of the seven
Yep.
because two of them can fly.
Yep.
So how do they play, or do they play into the final two episodes?
I think they're still coming after Agatha,
Mhm.
and in order for her to survive,
Maybe that's what Jennifer's for. Maybe what Jennifer is doing, it's not to take out the Salem Seven, but with these feral children, which is what they basically are, feral adults now. Maybe she is going to, Jennifer is going to take them in and kind of give them the nurturing and care that they never could have.
is that what the high priestess I don't remember what that role is.
High Priestess, let me find the exact wording on it here in a second. Immense spiritual power, but unable or unwilling to use it is what refers to spirituality, listening to their inner voices and harboring a huge amount of power, but also a positive and negative juxtaposition. Um, Lilia mentioning that Jennifer is unable or unwilling to use her power. Yeah, I think it's going to be the High Priestess serves as a mediator between the depths of reality, making her role on the ever-extending witch's role crucial. So, yeah, I'm just also thinking back to kind of the time when Jennifer was supposed to have lost her power, what she was doing, and kind of that midwifery and that healing aspect. So, and High Priestess, I think, could also lean into that at least thematically in terms of the idea of a priestess.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that she would heal the other two set of the seven. Because I do feel like, I mean, they're named for a reason, right? I think those two
Mhm.
like stand out. Vertigo and whoever the other one was. They were
Mhm.
actually given names, if I recall, such as Vertigo, and
Mhm.
so I think there's something else to them for sure. It still feels like I think Jennifer is there to heal Agatha in
Mhm.
some way, I think. I think that's, but
Yeah. I mean, the
maybe,
crow just, I'm looking at IMDb. The crow is just crow on there. Yeah, it's only the one who's named Vertigo who has an additional name. Let me double check. Yeah.
is she the bee, the mouthy bee one?
Because the other ones that don't are the crow, the owl. Yeah, so we should have had three that survived. The coyote, the fox, the rat, and
Spider or snake? Spider?
snake. Yes.
Hmm. So
Anyways, that's yeah, kind
yeah.
of down a rabbit hole there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But
Um, I don't know.
thoughts on where, like, two episodes left. So I did send you out a warning that I was going to ask these two questions.
Oh crap. Yeah, you did.
So where's the series going to go? Like last two episodes, what do we expect or you expect?
Um,
If you want time, I can talk.
I mean, I will just say that I think that with two left, ooh, um, I think it's going to be, we're going to really get to the heart of Agatha. And I think
Mhm.
what it's going to really pinpoint what she needs to do or what she's after. So I think we're going to see that. And then the last episode is going to be kind of like the big, obviously, finale where lots of action, right? I think there's going to be,
I don't think
um,
there's going to be a ton of action.
you don't think there's going to be like, and not as far as like action as in like explosions and stuff like that, but I
Mhm.
think it's going to be running out of time on something,
Yeah,
like that's going to be
the
something, and it's
tension.
yeah, and it's going to be really coming face to face with whatever it is that Agatha is truly up against
Mhm.
emotionally.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
lots of backstory and lots of filling ins of the gaps for
Mhm.
the eighth episode. The nine is going to be the come to Jesus moment, I guess you
Yeah.
say.
The
And I think, yeah,
final trial.
yeah, and I think Wiccan's gonna somehow he's gonna help in redeeming Agatha, and maybe there's gonna be some resolve between Death and her, or Death turns and comes after
Mhm.
like is about to come after her. Jennifer maybe comes in at this point, saves Agatha from Rio.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I think I generally am with you on that. I think the episode seven, we're going to get, we may even kick off the final trial, but
Um,
then we're going to understand the backstory of Agatha and Rio in particular. And I think we're going to see, I still like the idea that I had of, or one of us had on the podcast of it is an involuntary thing for Agatha to steal powers. Like she
hmm,
doesn't truly have control
yeah,
over it, but it's what she asked for. It's what she wanted from going down the witch's road the first time, or from making a deal with death, or Mephisto, or Chthon, whatever it is. She got what she wanted, but not in a way that she wanted. And because Nicholas had powers, he accidentally blasts her, accidentally, like maybe even he tries to heal her, something like that,
yeah,
and dies because of it.
yeah, hmm,
And
yeah,
Agatha could feel worse about that going down that way than she would feel if she had intentionally sacrificed her own son. She could consider that being worse.
hmm, yeah. I think
So,
it definitely feels like we're gonna just and obviously gonna get to the real heart of the matter with Agatha, and I'm expecting Hans's performance in especially in episode nine to just be like I don't know. I'm expecting it to be really good.
emotion, yeah,
Yeah,
very
like
emotionally driven.
she's gonna bring it home, like
Mhm.
kind of like that feeling maybe that we got when we were watching Wakanda Forever and Angela Bassett, right?
Yeah,
That whole just the emotion that she had, which I don't know if you could ever top that, but
yeah.
um I think that that's the kind of emotion that could come into this. But
Hmm. I do wonder too, like how much she is going to be redeemed.
I know, right?
Because I'm still on the camp of you can't fully redeem Agatha.
Yeah,
And
and I don't want her to. Like I've
Mhm.
said that. I don't know
Yeah.
if I want that.
And especially, I mean, like again, Marvel 7 hours ago put out this image of Agatha where they say her traits are powerful, selfish, brave, diabolical, damaged, and shameless. You can't get rid of selfish and diabolical in the last episode.
Right. Yeah, it's just I don't need where do you take the character at that point? Like there's so
Mhm.
much meaty goodness in that type of a character for them
Yes.
to go with, but
Yeah,
uh
she cannot be evil anymore. Like she
I
cannot be hunting down other witches to steal their power. Like she might come to some sort of resolution with that, but
yeah,
I kind of expect at the end she'll have done something, probably like kind of forgiven herself for whatever happened to Nicholas Scratch, and then they'll get out of the witch's road, and the teen will kind of assume that she's all better or and like regular, like ready to be a regular normal witch again. And so he'll start talking something about like how something about their coven or whatever, and she'll just say, "No, you're on your own, kid," and just
mhm.
leave.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having a little if they wanted to make her more of a good character, I wouldn't mind having it be walking the line of you always think that she's up to something, selfishly, yet
Hmm.
she kind of plays that role where she's kind of always doing the right thing or being helpful, but maybe pulling some puppet strings. Like in my, as I've said recently to you, I don't think I said it well while we were recording, but I've been watching Fringe, and the character of Nina Sharp is this character,
Hmm.
right? That you always like, you're very suspect of her, but she's also this caring person. And it's like almost that's what I want Catherine Hahn's
Hmm.
character to be. If they decide to pull her out of this darker evil side. And it's not evil, maniacal, maybe,
Yeah.
so.
It's not like just a, yeah. Or I was thinking like movie I watched because of my kid, Kung Fu Panda 4. There's all these thieves that and bad guys that they get to help,
Mhm.
um, kind of to be able to save the day at the end for like the good characters to save the day. And the the bad guys just completely take it out of context what they're doing, um or and like why they're doing it. And so the battle cry is basically the let's do the right thing for the wrong reason sort of thing. So I think she could be a character that they could play that way too, where she generally is going to do the right thing, but she has her own selfish reason for doing it. It's not an altruistic thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Man, who knew what a great character would
Mhm.
spin out of this?
Yeah.
I mean, at least they did, I don't know. They did a really good job with this character. It's lots of fun. A lot of fun in
Yes.
Agatha. So
And so the other question, you remember that one?
the post credit,
Yes. Do we get one? Do you think yes, no, maybe?
it feels like a show that would have a post credit.
Hmm.
And I, part of me is like, oh, maybe they'll do some little Wanda hint of some kind. But then part of me is like, they're just going to fulfill a joke somehow. Or, like,
I think there's a decent chance maybe we get like the sound of another accident or the sound of something else happening, and then you hear some people being like, Tommy, Tommy,
yeah,
and like somebody opening their eyes, and you see
just a
some
kid playing with a
people.
rabbit, petting a rabbit. Oh, Tommy, we
No.
missed you, Tommy.
But yeah, we get kind of the idea that, okay, yes, the teen, and this maybe won't be a post-credit scene for that reason. It might be the teen getting what he wants at the end of the road, but, or maybe it will just, yeah, be shown some way like that, of the idea of like, okay, Tommy is out there, but we still don't know who Tommy is.
Yeah. I could see it being something vague about a voice or
Mhm.
the name Tommy or something Tommy
Mhm.
related, just to kind of hint at Tommy's out there, and maybe it's another time that Billy hears Tommy's voice, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and we already know or can assume that Tommy's out there, so that feels
or
like it makes sense.
or Eddie goes back and goes to this that underground place at the end of Secret Invasion with all those bodies
No,
and
no, Secret Invasion didn't happen, Greg.
uh I forgot. Sorry,
That
that must have
did
been a dream. That
that
was a
did cross my
nightmare.
mind as well. Um, I think there's a chance we could get like a Mephisto
Yeah.
post-credit scene.
Sacha Baron Cohen like doing
Hmm.
something. Maybe just holding the rabbit. Holding the
Yeah,
rabbit.
holding the rabbit would
Yes.
be like actually that would be amazing. Is like we know the last thing we see is them crawling back out of the
Like the subway
cellar
station or
or the
the
basement
yeah.
in Agatha's house, and they hear a noise upstairs. It cuts, and then post-credit scene, we just see Sacha Baron Cohen walking around holding the rabbit, looking at the house and looking at
Mhm.
stuff in the house.
And he just goes, very nice.
Exactly. No, the
Yes.
rabbit says that.
Oh, the rabbit's in that, which, yes. And I'll say the rabbit's probably going to be Nicholas Scratch and
Yeah,
not Tommy.
yeah. So those were kind of some of my ideas.
Yeah, yeah. But I do think there will be one. And it just
Yeah.
feels like the show that to do it in, right?
Hmm. Especially because it's not setting up, like it's not doing any major MCU setup with anything, unless it does some sort of Scarlet Witch thing. Um, it would just be a post-credit scene to like tease, hey, Mephisto's going to be in Ironheart, or hey, Tommy's going to be in the Vision show.
Yeah. I think it's either Mephisto and Ironheart, if they're still doing that, or a Tommy reference. That's probably
Hmm.
where I feel like it'd go the
I
most likely.
Yeah, I think the most likely one for me is Tommy.
Or
Um,
Wanda. I don't know. God, I don't know.
Wanda's kind of the three options that I did on my video were Tommy, Wanda, and Mephisto. And I would say Tommy's most likely, followed by Mephisto, followed by Wanda. And if it is Wanda, then Jack Schaefer has been really good at lying,
Yeah, right. I was gonna
which
say,
is
yeah,
very possible.
yeah.
Yeah. But let us know your thoughts on episode 7 of Agatha All Along. My goodness, this has been almost 2 hours
Oh
of
my
us recording.
gosh.
Um, so I'll get this edited down and hopefully it is a fun listen. Obviously, we talk a ton about all the news, rumors, and stuff like that. If you're enjoying this content, we really do appreciate every single one of you. Great giveaway at the beginning that you could help support this podcast. But we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/nerdologists. The funds go to help improve the quality of this podcast, as well as the Malts and Meeples YouTube channel, nerdologist.com website, and the 10-Minute Marvel YouTube channel, which Greg promises sometime in the next 37 years he'll add another video.
Yep, you got my word.
But with that, we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.